About a year and a half ago, I was an 18-year-old kid about to start my freshman year of college, not having any clue on what I wanted to do with my life. I was going to college not because I wanted to, but because it felt like I had no other choice. I had roughly $2,000 to my name and was eager to find a way out of this lifestyle that I knew that it wasn't for me. Now, if we fast forward to today, I just turned 20 years old and have made about $150,000 through my own social media pages in the last year and a half. I completely turned my life around, all while still attending college, and I couldn't be more grateful for the position that I'm in. Now, if you clicked on this video, there's a pretty good chance that you've thought about starting something online before as well. Maybe it is a YouTube channel or a TikTok page, or maybe it's some kind of brand or creative project. But whatever it is, you've probably had that idea sitting in your head for a while now. And if I had to guess, the reason you still haven't started is not because you're lazy, and it's not because you're not capable. It's probably because you've been stuck overthinking every little part of it. You've been thinking about the niche, thinking about the name, thinking about what kind of videos you want to make, whether it would actually work or not, and I bet 100 other things as well. Trust me, I've been there. Now, that might all feel productive in the moment, but most of the time, it's really not. And in this video, I want to talk to you guys about that because I think this is one of the biggest reasons why so many people never actually build anything for themselves. Now, the truth is that most people don't have a lack of ideas. They actually have too many ideas and no real action behind any of them. They stay in this circle where they're constantly researching, constantly planning, constantly watching videos from other creators, just like you're doing right now to be honest, and they never actually make the first move. And the problem with that is that no amount of planning can replace the real experience that you need when getting started. You could watch 100 videos about how to start a channel, how to grow on social media better, how to edit videos, whatever. But until you actually sit down and make something real, you probably still are gonna have no idea what you're doing. And honestly, I didn't understand that at first either. When I started my first page, I thought I had everything figured out in my head. I had my ideas written down, I had formulas I thought would work, and I had all these plans for how I was gonna do it. And then I actually started posting, and almost none of it worked the way I expected. Some of my videos completely flopped, and some of the videos that I thought were gonna do bad ended up doing really well. And a lot of the time, I realized that I was overthinking things that really didn't matter that much. But that's the part that you can't really learn from watching videos like this. You can only really learn it when you're actually in the game. And that's the part that a lot of people don't want to hear because they want to feel ready before they begin. They're looking for some kind of guarantee that if you put time into this, it's actually going to go somewhere. But honestly, that's just not how this always works. You don't get confidence first and then start. You gotta start first and then confidence builds with every single upload that you make. Confidence comes from proof. It comes from seeing yourself take an idea out of your head, turn it into something real, put it out there, and realize that even if it wasn't perfect, you still survived and learned from it. That's how you build real trust in yourself. And honestly, I think this is where a lot of smart people screw themselves over the hardest. Because when you're smart, it becomes way easier to justify waiting. You tell yourself that you're just being strategic and that you're just still learning. But most of the time, that's just not a real strategy. You're not actually trying to make the first video better, you're trying to avoid making a bad one. And I get it, making something bad feels uncomfortable. It sucks to realize your first upload isn't that good. It sucks hearing your own voice back and thinking it sounds weird. And it sucks putting a lot of time into something and having it barely get any views at all. But the thing that you need to realize is that that is completely normal. That's literally how it's all supposed to go. The people who actually ended up building channels or brands just like myself are usually not the people who had the cleanest start. They're just the people who were willing to be bad for long enough, learn from all their mistakes, and improve on every single upload to where they're actually making quality content now. That's why I think one of the biggest mindset shifts you can make is to stop asking yourself what's the perfect way to start and start asking yourself what's the fastest way that I can get a real start, because that is what changes everything. One real upload teaches you way more than another week of sitting around thinking about uploading, and one bad video is way more valuable than 5 perfect ideas that never get made. At some point, you have to stop trying to mentally optimize your way around the uncomfortable part and just go do the thing that you want to do. Now, honestly, I think the reason this matters so much is because the internet makes it ridiculously easy to confuse consuming with creating. You could spend your whole day watching people talk about how they built a channel, how they made money online, and how they became successful, and by the end of it, you feel like you actually did something because you took in information. But in the grand scheme of things, you really didn't. You just watch other people build the life that you say that you want. And if you keep doing that for long enough, it honestly starts to mess with your head because now you feel behind, but you also know deep down that you haven't actually moved. That's why I think starting any kind of creative project can be so powerful, even if it doesn't instantly make you money or blow you up right away. It gives you something real to work on, and it gives you proof that you're not just another person sitting on the sidelines. Even if your first video gets 50 views, who cares? You still made something, you still learned something. And once you do that, you stop seeing yourself as just a consumer. Now you're an actual creator. And now every video that you watch, every thumbnail that you see, every hook that you hear, it all starts registering differently because now you're not just admiring it, you start to study it with a purpose. In the beginning, the goal is not really to go viral, and it's not even really to make money yet. The goal is to become the kind of person that actually creates consistently instead of just talking about creating. Because once you become that person, then everything else starts compounding. Your ideas get sharper, your instincts get better, your editing improves. And after enough reps, you start looking back and realizing that you're way better than you were just a month ago. But that only happens if you get out of your head long enough to begin. And something else that I didn't really expect to happen when I first started taking YouTube seriously was how much it actually changed the way I thought about work in general. Before I started making real content, everything felt very linear. The only real path I could see for myself was the one everyone talks about growing up, where you go to school, get a job, work your way up, and eventually things get better. And I'm not saying that path is bad, it just really wasn't for me, and at the time it felt like that was the only option that I had. However, once I started building something online, even when it was small, that feeling started to go away. Because when you create something for yourself, even if it's just a few videos at the beginning, you start realizing that value doesn't only come from a job title or a paycheck. It can come from something you built, something you shared, something that people actually choose to watch or follow. And that realization is a lot more powerful than it sounds. Even on this channel, I've only made 5 videos so far, and this is my 6th video that I'm making, but I've already had hundreds of comments on all my videos, coming from people who are seeking advice because they see that I actually have real value to give. And when you see that something you made can reach people or help people, it changes the way that you look at what's possible in your future. And honestly, I think that's something a lot of people are missing right now. Not because they don't have the opportunity to do it, but because they never give themselves permission to try. They assume that the people who build these things online are somehow different from them, when in reality, most of them just started experimenting and slowly figured it out as they went. I mean, gosh, if you want to look at me, I had absolutely no idea what I was doing in the beginning. I would literally film my TV screen of me playing Call of Duty with my iPad, and I would call that a completed video. Nobody really knows exactly what they're doing at the beginning. They just start, they pay attention to what works, and they keep improving from there. And in 6 months from now, you can either be someone who has a bunch of uploads behind you, a bunch of lessons learned, and a completely different level of experience, or you could still be sitting on the same idea that you had today. The next 6 months are going to pass either way, so spend it wisely. Now, if you want to, leave a comment down below of what kind of channel or project that you've been thinking about starting, and I'll tell you honestly if I think it's a strong idea or not. I have a ton of experience with a bunch of different niches on YouTube, so I'll give you my best advice. But yeah, that's all for today's video. If you guys enjoyed it, I would really appreciate it if you've subscribed, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one.